National Election Observer bodies based their report on lapses noticed in the conduct of the election, especially the role of security agencies. They praised INEC for conducting the election in line with global and constitutional dictates, but fought the deployment of 30,000 policemen for the election. The observers stated that the process was characterized by ballot box snatching, poor conduct by some security operatives, and vote buying. The Independent National Electoral Commission is not prepared to go back on plans to end the ongoing continuous voters registration on August 17th. It, however, intends to resume voter registration after the 2019 general elections. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu disclosed this in a meeting with State President Electoral Commissioners in Abuja. Emmanuel Bagdu was there and filed in this report.
This is INEC's first public gathering after the Ekiti election. Resident electoral commissioners from all 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, are meeting with the Commission's leadership. But before they go into a closed-door session, there are also pronouncements on the continuous voters registration.
After wide-ranging consultations with stakeholders, the current exercise will be suspended on 17th August 2018 to resume after the 2019 general elections. So far, a total of 10,292,647 Nigerians have been registered.
The Commission also touched on the next major election on its calendar.
These by-elections will offer the Commission yet another opportunity to fine-tune our processes and procedures in preparation for the Osun State governorship election and ultimately the 2019 general elections. We wish to once again reassure Nigerians that the Commission will continue to improve on the quality of our elections, drawing from the lessons learned from the collective experience of having conducted elections into 181 constituencies since the 2015 general elections.
The INEC leadership is expected to trash out a number of controversial issues trailing the electoral process as it prepares for next year's general elections. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
The Independent National Electoral Commission will on Friday announce the dates for by-elections for vacant seats in the National and State Assemblies. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu made this known in Abuja. He explained that the by-elections will be held to fill the vacant Bauchi South and Katsina North seats in the Senate, Lokoja, Kotun Karafe Federal Constituency in Kogi, and Obudu 1 State Constituency in Cross River State. This, according to the Commission, is after receiving formal notification on the vacancies.
The Commission is set to conduct by-elections to fill the vacancies in the 4 constituencies, which have a total of over 2 million registered voters spread across 3,355 polling units in 234 wards and 22 local government areas. Consultations with stakeholders in the affected states are ongoing. Considering the requirement of the law that such elections shall be conducted by the Commission within 30 days following the declaration of vacancy, we are planning to conduct all the 4 elections on the same date in all the 4 states across the 4 geopolitical zones.
Merely 14 hours after a group of youths in Edo State decried Governor Godwin Obaseki governance style, another group has hailed him. The youth wing of the All Progressive Congress passed a vote of confidence on him for involving youth in his policy initiative and programs. APC Edo youth leader Valentine Asuen made this known while speaking with newsmen in Benin. Asuen was reacting to allegation by Tony Adun, the Edo South APC youth leader, that Obaseki had no plans for the youth in the state. He said that Adun was wrong when he said he was speaking on behalf of the youth in the state. Still in Edo State, the rise in infant mortality across Edo is becoming a source of worry to stakeholders in the state. They consequently want relevant authorities to prioritize primary health care services. This, they say, will help reduce the scourge and enhance prompt response to emergencies. Kingsley Eben has more in this report presented from our studios.
These are women living in this community. Most of them have lived here for the better part of their lives. But one thing they are lacking is adequate health care delivery. And before now, they travel long distance to seek medical attention. But now, all that have changed.
This body did not only purchase this equipment for Igba PHC, they also republished the whole PHC. This kind gesture would no doubt be of immense benefit to the entire Igba community.
The joy of the people in this community knows no bound at the moment. That is because they now have a well-equipped health center.
The community, actually, when I was coming, I almost drove by because it was my brother that told me that this is the health center. There's not to worry about it. That the health center of yesterday, today is wearing a new look. But the mama will pull me out. When she came in here some time ago to carry out an eye test, the health center was looking so very horrible. But today, mama will feel comfortably to conduct an eye test. Let's be glory to God.
Just a new matron here. They have done it for me, and I get to enjoy it. Thank God. May God bless you all in Jesus.
Before people do come here, even when they come for a treatment, sometimes it's not well okay. But now, with the equipment people brought, I say that this place is very okay. People can even come here to come for their delivering. People can even come here for antenatal. People can even come here when they are sick. With what I'm seeing, I see that yes, people have really tried.
This renovated and equipped health center in Egba community in Ikpobaoga local government council is done by the charity arm of Jesus Christ of Latter-day.
The Senate has launched an inquest into alleged irregularities in the ongoing oil and gas lease renewal and alleged massive loss of revenue. It mandated its Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream and Banking to investigate all issues relating to the lease renewal by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Department of Petroleum Resources. The committees are to identify appropriate measures to correct any anomalies in the process.
The move was on the basis of a motion by Senator Omotayo Alasho-Adura. He said 3 other co-sponsors drew attention to several petitions and complaints on irregularities surrounding the ongoing renewal of oil and gas leases. They claimed that illegal discounts and rebates characterized the process.
The Senate accordingly resolved to mandate the Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream to investigate all issues relating to the ongoing lease renewal being undertaken by the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and the Department of Petroleum Resources, and to report to the Senate the anomalies in the ongoing lease renewal process and identify appropriate measures to correct the said anomalies.
The senator puts Nigeria's loss at $10 billion. Lawmakers who spoke on the motion suggested an all-inclusive investigation into the matter.
When we do the investigation and bring all the facts, then it becomes much easier for us to be able to interrogate this subject matter appropriately. So, second, the issue of the lease is something that has been in the front burner of the national discourse the last few weeks. And what this parliament can do is, for once and for all, to bring the minister to make a clarification about the actions he has taken. $10 billion is no small amount of money. And I'm of the belief that if we can get to the root of this matter, it will also open other kind of worms in the petroleum sector.
Ruling on the motion, Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu appealed to the regulating agencies and enforcement agencies to wake up to their responsibilities.
One of our major problems is the issue of enforcement and regulations, because we have sufficient rules, to guide us in almost all sectors. So I just want to appeal to regulatory agencies and enforcement agents to wake up their responsibilities in order to ensure that the correct things are done in this country, irrespective of who is involved. And I'm sure that now that we are taking up this matter, that should be a good way to start, or at least to continue to ensure that we put our people on the right path of not only transparency but enforcement of rule of law, including enforcement of existing laws and then regulatory agencies ensuring that the correct things are being done.
The Joint Senate Committee to summon the Minister of State for Petroleum Development, Ibe Kachuku, over an action the lawmakers say is capable of changing the nation.
Still on Nigerian economy, federal lawmakers are demanding a stop to the hawking and sale of Naira notes, especially smaller denominations like 100 and 200 Naira notes. Members of the House of Representatives who raised the motion lamented that a legal tender is put on display in some marketplaces. They are convinced that the marketers of currency notes work in collaboration with commercial banks.
If you go to Ibadan Garage in Ijebode, you can get it. Any amount. Go to Day Market, Berger Market, Oshodi in Lagos. You will see Naira notes. As they display other wares, they display Naira. It has that bad. As I speak, Mr. Speaker, Onisha Market, K2 Garage in Lagos, you find this thing. It becomes so nauseating. Seeing Naira notes competing on the table with other wares for sale. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, if you go to Iwo Road Garage, you will see people hawking bread, hawking other items, pure water, and at the same time hawking Naira notes. Even when you go to branch, bankers will tell you, go to so garage. As much as you want, you will get. Banks will direct you to garage, or to a market, or to someone very close to that branch. I feel persuaded that this has to be investigated and the truth of this must be found. We cannot continue like this.
If the banks decide to cloud the laws, then you cannot, we are dealing with almost 100 banks here, so you don't know which one is doing this. But how do we arrive at that? Where do you exert that investigation before you find out whether change or to watch on it? This has nothing to do with the government.
Federal lawmakers are bracing up for the second Capital Market Stakeholders Forum. To this end, the delegation, including capital market regulators, visited People's Television Corporate Headquarters in Abuja. The forum is a follow-up to the maiden one in 2016. Emmanuel Ahijana reports.
The visit was necessitated by the need to forge partnership with the media ahead of the summit. This, according to the delegation, is due to importance of the capital markets to the Nigerian economy. He is quite interested in serious local and foreign business entities investing in the stock market instead of those he described as portfolio investors. The lawmaker is concerned that the country relies too much on government funding.
No economy anywhere in the world reaches mark without capital market playing a significant role. I don't know of any country that can be referred to as developed that does not rely on capital market for 80% of our infrastructural development. We are where we are in Nigeria because as of today, 95% of our infrastructural effort to procure infrastructure in Nigeria will rely on direct budgeting. Nowhere national economy can finance that. So part of this is to expose every one of us to this sleeping giant and the need to activate it. And to activate saving, I am worried that till now the major players are portfolio investors. 80% of them are non-Nigerians. Well, the best way to have access to funds that can help our economy is for retail investors, you and I, to take over the market.
The delegation included capital market operators who threw more light on the coming event and why Nigerians should invest more in the market.
we are calling all stakeholders. Stock exchange is a partner in this program, the commodity exchange, even all the stakeholders, all the regulators and agencies in the capital market are all involved in this program. And we want to use the opportunity to invite the press. They are the fourth realm to help us let the people know that capital market is it. You cannot develop any part of the world with short-term funds.
That is happening because we are not able to create a semblance of a perfect market that the commodity exchange will emplace. Well, commodity exchange is a platform where you trade anonymously, where you have several buyers and several sellers interacting to drive up the price. But what we have now is a situation whereby Olam and some Chinese merchants will move to the farms and be buying this thing as peanuts from the farmers. More than ever before, efforts are now being geared towards driving agriculture. But there is no way we'll achieve much in this direction if you don't have a platform, a functional commodity exchange that will incentivize farmers to produce more. And what kind of incentives are commodity exchange providing is price discovery. Now, apart from that, commodity exchange is also in place in what we call warehouses financing. Because one of the critical issues that farmers are facing is the issue of finance.
In response, the station promised to deploy state-of-the-art equipment and is tired to deliver the message across to Nigerians.
We would obviously be keen on replicating a long-standing relationship with the Joint Committee on one hand and with Honorable TJ on the second hand. And we will be doing something a little bit different this time. Aside from the last time we did a live broadcast over the 2-day event, we'll be doing, of course, we'll be doing the same thing this year. And we'll also be looking at live streaming. We didn't do it the last time. We'll live stream it on Twitter because we believe that it's one platform that speaks directly to the elite. Now, I mentioned the elite, not in relation to, also in relation to community exchange, because people will think that it's only the elite that will be interested in what Mr. Kapo spoke about. But then community exchange 2 years, many of us hardly knew what it's all about.
The delegation was later taken around the new ultra-modern facility of the station. The forthcoming summit is slated for July 25th, and the theme is Capital Market, a catalyst for economic growth and development. Emmanuel Ehijne, PTV News, Abuja.
Still on Nigerian economy, trading in the Nigerian Stock Exchange has witnessed a drop for the third consecutive day this week. The all-share index lost 215.52 points or 0.58% to close at 36,748.18 at against 36,963.70 recorded on Tuesday. Guarantee Trust Bank led the losers table, declining by 2.65 naira to close at 36.55 naira per share. Okumu Oil Palm trailed with a loss of 2 naira to close at 83 naira, while First Bank Holdings dipped 1 naira to close at 9.25 naira per share. Conversely, international breweries led the gainers table for the day, appreciating by 3 naira 50 kobo to close at 41 naira per share. The market capitalization of the exchange shed 78 billion naira or 0.58% to close at 13.312 trillion naira compared to 13.390 trillion on Tuesday. And moving straight to the foreign scene, Ethiopian Airlines have conducted the first direct passenger flight between Addis Ababa and Asmara. The move reconnected Eritrea and Ethiopia after a 20-year military standoff. The carrier said flight ET-0312 to Asmara departed the international airport on Wednesday after a ceremony inaugurating the historic flight. Overwhelming demands saw the African aviation giant operate 2 flights within 15 minutes of each other. An Egyptian court in Cairo has renewed the detention of Al Jazeera journalist Mahmoud Husseini for another 45 days. This, he says, has already spent 575 days in prison without charge. Last month, Hussaini's lawyer called for his release days after he completed the maximum period of detention permitted in a free trial arrest in Egypt. According to the Criminal Court Procedure Law, authorities should have either released Hussaini or referred him to a court by the 18th month mark, which was on June 21st. Hussaini was detained on December 30, 2016 by Egyptian authorities upon his arrival in Cairo for an annual vacation to visit his family. And in the world of sports, we shall be joining Daniel Waboso for some sports stories.
Good evening and welcome to PTV Sports Corner. I am Daniel Waboso. We kick off now from the EPL, where Liverpool have agreed a fee of £66.8 million for Roma goalkeeper Alisson. The Premier League clubs are now expected to hold talks with the Brazil international. The 25-year-old has been at Roma for 2 years and played 37 Serie A games last season after starting his career at Brazilian side Internacional. Liverpool's bid, which is €7 million, would overtake the current record for a goalkeeper, €53 million paid by Juventus to Parma for Gianluigi Buffon in 2011. The Premier League record for a keeper is the €40 million Manchester City paid Benfica for Ederson in June 2017. Back home now to NFF, where the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation, led by Chris Giwa, has appointed Emmanuel Ikpeme as acting General Secretary of the Football House following corruption allegations levied against former General Secretary Mohammed Sanusi. The News Agency of Nigeria reports that the announcement was made on Tuesday night after an exhaustive meeting of the NFF Executive Committee at the Football Secretariat in Abuja. Sanusi had been mandated to step aside, sequel to investigations into allegations of financial corruption levied against him, to give way for the appointment of an acting scribe, pending when the Executive Committee will announce a substantive General Secretary. Still in football now, hundreds of football fans flocked to cheer Barcelona legend Andres Iniesta when he arrived in Japan on Wednesday to join his new club, Vissel Kobe. The 34-year-old Spanish World Cup winner, who lifted 32 major trophies at Barcelona and made over 600 appearances for the Catalan giants, completed a big money move to Japan in May. About 300 fans came to Kansai Airport at Osaka in western Japan to greet Iniesta when he arrived in the early morning, according to a Vissel Kobe spokesman. Iniesta's voice of Kobe is arguably Japanese football's biggest transfer coup, with many top players now moving to cash-rich Chinese clubs in the twilight of their career. Iniesta will join former Arsenal striker Lucas Podolski in the western port city of Kobe after Podolski completed a move from Galatasaray last summer. And in golf, while all eyes are on the leading male players in the world at Cornell State this week, one female golfer will be doing her bit to inspire young girls to take up the sport. For as the 147th Open gets underway, Brittany Loisikome will be lining up alongside the men at the PGA's Barbasol Championship in Kentucky. In doing so, the 32-year-old American will be only the 6th woman in history to compete against men on the PGA Tour. The last was Michelle Way a decade ago. Last month, Loisikome and we were paired at LPGA event in Kansas in Lindsay Chomi. A two-time major winner said she tried to ask the Hawaiian about her experience against men. And in rugby now, British and Irish Lions captain Sam Warburton has retired from rugby at the age of 29 after winning 79 test caps. The former Wales captain has not played since leading the 2017 Lions to a drawn series against New Zealand. The back rower recently returned to Cardiff Blues training after being sidelined for 2017 and 2018 by knee and neck surgery. In a statement announcing the decision, the Welsh Rugby Union said that following his most recent injuries, it had become clear to Warburton that he wouldn't be able to return to high standards he has set throughout his career. That's all on PTV Sports Corner. I am Daniel Mwaboso.
Thank you there, Daniel. Now to weather. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted prospect of thunderstorm and rains over the central states on Thursday morning. NIMET's weather outlook by its Central Focus Office in Abuja also predicted day and night temperatures in the range of 25 to 31 and 17 to 23 degrees Celsius respectively. It added that there were chances of thunderstorms over Kaduna, Lafia, Mina, Jalingo, Ilori, Makurdi and Lokoja during evening hours and afternoon hours. The agency predicted the southern states would experience cloudy conditions with prospect of rains over Shaki and Ishei axis during the morning hours. It also predicted prospect of rains over the region later in the day, with night and temperatures in the range of 29 to 31 and 21 to 24 degrees Celsius respectively. Now, according to NIMET, northern states would experience thunderstorms over some parts such as Gusau, Katsina, Ngurukanu, Dutse during the morning hours. However, there are chances of more thunderstorms over the region during the afternoon and evening hours, with day and night temperatures in the ranges of 30 to 32 and 23 to 24 degrees Celsius respectively. Cloudy conditions are anticipated with prospect of thunderstorms and rains across most parts of the country within the next 24 hours. And that's it on news. On behalf of PTV News production crew, many thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi.
It's new, it's here, it's premium entertainment for everyone. From August 1st, get popping every day with Ebony Life TV. Mondays are for Nollywood, Tuesdays are for novellas. The Next Generation have a blast on Wednesdays. Thursdays are for drama. Fridays are there to excite you and binge every weekend.
Soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislatures.
This is coming together of people who are engaged.
Executive order should comply with the law.
I personally dissociate myself completely.
from this interview because you have
there had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is